Hello and welcome everyone to Trades Talk Tuesday. I'm your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. Please call me Pop. And today, we'll be looking through a bit of the news, a little bit of a lull during the Christmas holidays. Between Christmas and New Year's, I've managed to take a few days off, so it's that time of year where you can do that. Not a lot of businesses are open, nobody's going to be ordering things, so you can take a little bit of a break, and hopefully it's happened for you as well. It's nothing like having that recharge that you get after having some nice quiet days off and not having to worry about repairing any breakdowns or anything like that. So please, raise a glass, cheers, enjoy, everyone. Alrighty. Let's begin with some news. So I've managed to find a couple of news items here. One's from Canadian manufacturing. Right away, I noticed this news headline here. Canadian economy grew by 0.1% in October, Statistics Canada says. 0.1%. That's 0.1%. That's almost nothing. It's not something to be proud of. I don't think it's going to be very good economy-wise, but we'll see how it goes. It's just my opinion. The Defense Department receives approval to spend $7 billion on 16 F-35s. All I gotta say about that is finally we can get an upgrade from our aging CF-18s. I know those things have been around for years. I don't have exact dates, but I know they've been around a long time. So being able to buy some F-35s finally, that's good. Yeah, after the Cold War, why COOF infection and death rates were so high in Eastern Europe. Yeah, that's just, there's a bunch of stuff if you go on to the news sites and not the mainstream sites, you'll hear a bunch of stuff about people having sudden heart attacks and such, cardiac arrests. I can't say anything right now, and it's because I don't know what'll happen if I open my mouth about it, and who knows who's listening. Probably get reported or something, I don't know. Lion Electric begins lithium-ion battery pack production. What's that all about? Final certification of the first battery pack is expected in the first quarter of 2023, followed by a gradual ramp-up of production in 2023. Montreal. So this is in Quebec, which is on the east side of the country. The Lion Electric Company, a manufacturer of electric, medium, and heavy-duty urban vehicles, has completed production of its first lithium-ion battery pack at the company's battery manufacturing facility located in Mirabel, Quebec. It's nice to see that there's some batteries being built in North America. Final certification of the first battery pack is expected in the first quarter of 2023, followed by a gradual ramp-up of production in 2023. The first batteries produced in Mirabel will power the Lion 5 truck and the Lion ambulance, expected to reach commercial production in the first half of 2023. The production of our first battery pack out of our Mirabel battery facility is an important step for Lion and should over time bring with it a new level of optimization for product design and production efficiency, said Yannick Poulin, CEO Lion. I am incredibly proud of our team for the continued advancement of this project, and I am very thankful to the Canadian and Quebec governments for their support in making it a reality. Lion's new Mirabel battery manufacturing facility, once fully operational, is expected to give the company a market advantage with vertical integration, providing more control of supply, technology advancement, and vehicle integration. At full scale, Lion's battery manufacturing facility is expected to have an annual production capacity of 5 gigawatt hours of battery capacity. The news comes as Lion has also recently celebrated the start of production at its U.S. vehicle manufacturing facility in Joliet, Illinois. Well, that's good. And that's it for that article. Global modular construction market to see growth as demand for efficient construction methods rises. Tega begins delivery of electric watercraft in Florida. Bombardier releases statement on airborne surveillance. Drone delivery Canada wins distinction at competition. Electrical business. Are microgrids a key to grid resiliency? Well, if you have everyone making their own power, it should be less of a strain on the electrical grid, I would think. But then again, does the government want you to be self-sufficient? I don't know. It seems like they really want you under their boot heel. What else we got here? Canadian plastics. Dutch researchers develop strong, durable, bio-based plastics. Analysts react to Ottawa's $7 billion fighter jet deal. Of course they are. Like, just shut up and buy them already. You've wasted enough time not buying them. Buy them. Get it over with. Here's an obvious one. Food prices in Canada rise faster than inflation. In other news, water is wet. Of course. It's taken them this long to figure it out. What's this? 3M says they will phase out forever chemicals after U.S. government designated them as hazardous substances. 3M is quite a big company, and they sure own a lot of things. "3M will phase out the manufacturing of so-called forever chemicals and try to get them out of all their products within 2 years," the chemical and consumer products maker said on December 20th. The decision announced on December 20th arrives only after U.S. environmental regulators designated the chemicals used in non-stick frying pans, water-repellent sports gear, stain-resistant rugs, cosmetics, and countless other consumer products since the 1940s as hazardous substances under the Superfund law. While the designation is not an outright ban, polyfluoroalkyl substances, better known as PFAS, require a report to federal, state, and tribal officials if the amount released into soil or water meet or exceeds certain level. The Environmental Protection Agency could then require cleanups to protect public health and recover cleanup costs. You know that companies are going to avoid that at all costs. They will not pay for any cleanup. PFAS has been voluntarily phased out by U.S. manufacturers but are still in limited use and remain in the environment because they do not degrade over time. 3M said its decision was based on multiple factors, including accelerating regulatory trends focused on reducing or eliminating the presence of the chemicals in the environment. The chemicals can accumulate and persist in the human body for long periods of time, and evidence from animal and human studies indicates that exposure to PFAS may lead to cancer or other health problems, including damage to organs including the liver, kidneys, and thyroid gland. 3M, based in St. Paul, Minnesota, said it will exit all PFAS manufacturing and work to discontinue use of PFAS in all its products by the end of 2025. 3M makes a broad range of consumer products, including Post-it notes, Scotch-Brite cleaning supplies, adhesives, and personal protective equipment. Chemical and other industrial companies have been sued frequently in recent years for downplaying the dangers of the chemicals. Okay, let's see what they can come up with. My guess is they've had stuff that could replace these. It's just a matter of cost for them. So if you have something that's dirt cheap and it's toxic, they're going to use it. If they find something that, or they have to be legislated to not use those products, they'll already have something, but it's going to be more expensive, and they'll pass the cost on to the consumer, I'm sure. Let's have a look at another magazine here. Heavy industry and manufacturing. Sigma Lithium successfully initiates commissioning of a green tech plant on schedule and within budget. That is quite surprising that it's within budget. I wonder what they cut to achieve that. Sigma Lithium successfully commissioned the first module of the Phase 1 production plant, the green tech plant, on schedule and within budget. Crushing circuit dry module commissioning commenced last week with all tests successfully completed and is expected to be completed by February 2023. Dense media separation circuit, the wet module, commissioning expected to initiate in February 2023 and expects to be completed by April 2023. Sigma Lithium remains on track to commence commercial production in April 2023. Please review our video here with the 3D engineering of the expansion of the green tech plant, phases 2 and 3, as well as the current green tech plant phase 1. Sigma Lithium also commissioned a system that will pump water from Rio Jacinto, 6 kilometers away from the sewage treatment plant, to clean the water of its solid fecal residues, making it suitable for the green tech plant. Sigma Lithium expects to start generating free cash flow in the second quarter of 2023, producing battery-grade, environmentally and socially sustainable lithium concentrate. It says lithium is going to be used for batteries, I'm assuming. And I'm not quite sure where this place is. But we'll find out. Sigma Lithium has been conducting continued exploration work with the goal of further increasing the mineral resources, focusing on outlining a deposit which will comprise a phase 4, expected to be larger than 20 megatons, with the resource estimate update expected to be completed in 2023. Substantial increase in the estimated mineral resources strengthens the position of Sigma Lithium's 100% owned Grota do Cirilo project, the project as the largest and highest quality hard rock mineral deposits in the Americas and among the largest in the world. Vancouver, BC, December 20th, 2022. Sigma Lithium Corporation, dedicated to powering the next generation of electric vehicles with environmentally and socially sustainable high-purity lithium, is pleased to announce that it has commenced commissioning of its green tech plant on schedule and within budget. Where is this place? Let's see. Sounds like it's in South America somewhere. Oh, Brazil. Sigma Brazil. Okay. So you've got your lithium for your batteries from Sigma. They have a new plant being built to supply more lithium. More visible gold found at Northern Shield's root and cellar property in Newfoundland. New mineralized structures identified. That's good. Hopefully they can mine some more gold out of there. First ship of the year, ArcelorMittal presents its steel-headed cane to the captain of the Santa Barbara. Not very up-to-date on their satellite yards enable Ritchie Brothers' largest auction ever in the Pacific Northwest. Ritchie Brothers, that is no matter what, when things are good or when things are bad, Ritchie Brothers always seems to have a booming time. Things are bad, people are selling stuff off. Things are good, people are buying things. And their yards are huge. Gold Royalty Corp announces 2022 year-end results. Record total annual revenues exceeding guidance. What else we got here? Anything else? No, doesn't look like it. All right. Okay, so extra alarming. I saw this and I thought it would be a good idea. This is from the London Free Press, which is in London, Ontario. Headline, extra alarming. Census shows skilled trades at record low in London area. Not just in London, but everywhere. Warnings about the falling number of people entering skilled trades in the London area are verified by new census data that shows the number of qualified tradespeople hit a record low last year. In 2021, only 10.2% of London's labour force had relevant credentials to work in the trades, apprenticeship or non-apprenticeship trades, certificates, and diplomas. Figures from the latest census data show that compares to 16.1% in 2006. Looking specifically at younger people, the percentage of local workers between the ages of 25 and 29 with such credentials was 5.7% in 2021, down from 13.1% 15 years ago. Though anecdotal evidence already indicated a big shortage of young skilled workers, the census data underscores how big the gap is, said Jared Zafman, chief executive of the London Home Builders Association. I think it's extra alarming, just knowing where we have been struggling to get people into the skilled trades and knowing the significant gap that we were already expecting to see, he said. Those numbers don't portend well for the future, knowing that we need more young people in the industry, Zafman said. These are all really critical jobs, certainly at the city level, where we're seeing that it's harder to get as much done as quickly as possible. London isn't alone in this trend. Nationally, the percentage of people in the trades dropped by 17.4% last year, down from 21.8% in 2006. King's University College demographer Don Kerr, who compiled the census data, said part of the decline can be attributed to the fact there are more people between age 60 and 64 about to enter retirement than those aged 20 and 24 who are about to enter the labor force. This is why the government has targeted immigration as a potential solution, he said. If we did not have immigrants, our labor force would actually currently be shrinking. But the overall decline is still a concerning trend given the growing need for infrastructure as the company's population continues to go up, Kerr said. He pointed out that while the number of people getting certification in the trades is dropping, the percentage of young people with a college degree has remained stable during these past 15 years, dropping to 25.3% in 2021 from 27.4% in 2006. While many of our community colleges across the province are providing excellent training in occupations currently in demand, for whatever reason, young adults are not taking full advantage, he said. In light of the salary that many of these trades can demand, this is somewhat difficult to understand. Is it though? I don't think you guys are pushing it hard enough in high school and elementary school. You should have it more readily available. Because I remember going through high school and not being very well informed about the trades at all. There was very little information. They were always pushing to go to university, and not everyone went to university. So, not everyone would take anything from university or even be able to afford university. Whereas trade school was much more affordable. The latest figures come at a time when the Ontario government has made a big push to get young people interested in careers in the trades, warning of a looming crisis as one in 3 journey persons is older than 55. Ontario Minister of Labour, Monty McNaughton, said he was not surprised by the latest figures, saying, "For too long governments failed to promote the trades as a viable career option for young people. This is true. Governments in the past have known about the aging demographics, so this crisis has been years in the making," he said, adding the Ontario government now is investing $1.5 billion to fund initiatives to get more people in the trades. My entire plan is focused around 3 pillars. We want to end the stigma around the trades, simplify the apprenticeship system, and get employers to bring on apprentices. I think that's one of the major things, is getting employers to take on apprentices. I mean, apprentice, it sounds like such a bad word, but it's not. It just means someone that's learning and starting out in the trade. It's not such a bad thing. I wish they could get over that. Among those initiatives is the province's first ever skilled trades fair, which attracted thousands of school-age students to the city last month. Though the latest figures may not be reflecting it now, McNaughton said the province is moving in the right direction. I can say confidently that we're reversing the trend and that there are thousands more young people picking up careers in the skilled trades, he said. Good. Definitely has to be done in other places as well. This, like I say, this was from the London Free Press. The City of London. I think other cities in other provinces need to step up and realize that you are going to have a major shortage of skilled tradespeople, and they will be able to pick and choose whatever job they go to. And you'll have to pay them well, and you'll have to maybe even poach them from other companies. So it will be definitely an advantage to anyone who's in the skilled trades. Let's see what it says here. How much education and what kind do skilled tradespeople need? Well, let's have a look here. How much book learning do skilled tradespeople need to do their jobs? Do they need any at all? The skilled trades are more intellectually demanding than many people realize, says Faith Dempster, Director of Workforce Development at the BC Construction Association. For example, various math skills are needed in the trades, says Dempster. They range from simple arithmetic, such as adding and subtracting fractions, to more complex concepts, such as trigonometry, which is used by welders and metal fabricators. Electricians need to understand and be able to apply some of the principles of physics. Dempster says many apprentices are surprised to find out how much mathematics they need. A lot of them enter their apprenticeships deficient in math, she says. It would help if when they learn math in high school, they learn the practical examples of how the theory they're learning can be applied in the real world. That is on the schools to do that. When you're in school and you have a good teacher, it makes a world of difference for how you pick up things and learn. So if they can make it so that it's more practical, then it will be better in the long run. Okay, it continues. Scott Comfort, president of Seagate Mass Timber in Surrey, BC, says a huge asset, regardless of your role, includes basic and advanced geometry, trigonometry, a clear understanding of order of operations, balanced equations, and some basic accounting. Tradespeople also need to be able to reason and think in abstractions. Hey! Comic Relief Crusader, welcome, and hail to you, sir. It's good to see you. Been such a long time. Myself, I'm just going through here. I'm espousing the advantages of being in the trades. You're back, baby. Nice. So yes, this is my Tuesday Trades Talk, where I tell everyone about the advantages and encourage them to, if they haven't gone into the trades, or to encourage other people to go into the trades if they don't know what they want to do. And right now, I'm just going through and showing them, well, what kind of education you need to go in there. And right now, it says you need to know math and such, and it's nothing that major. I've gone through it myself, and the math is not that hard. Numbers are fairly easy. Yeah, trades are so important. You bet they are. I mean, after this article, I'm gonna go and show some. I'll show some pictures online here about some of the things I was involved with. One can end up making more money than a book degree from your. Oh man, you are so right. Especially if you get in with like companies like Shell or something, if you work at a refinery, depending on where you live, or if you work at a sawmill, a refinery, you can work in a mine, all sorts of places. You can work in a steel fab shop, you can specialize, you can be like a hydraulics technician or a pneumatics technician and take care of air compressors. You can do non-destructive testing. You could even move around from job site to job site, just testing things out. It is quite the extensive list of things you can do in the skilled trades. Continuing on, you did oil drilling with precision drilling, and after that, scaffolding. There you go. 2 really important things to do. Oil drilling and scaffolding. I know when the plant goes on shutdown, you have a hard time getting hold of scaffolders because they are in demand. People need scaffolding to reach hard to reach places, and it's just like you just calling around all over to get scaffolders to come in and do the job for you. You're a second-year scaffolder, almost third year. Hey, nice. Now I'm not sure. Oh, after that is journeyman? Okay, good. I was wondering how long it is for scaffolders. I'm not sure myself. But that's one of the jobs that's in demand. And I had gone through an article just before you arrived about how there's the dwindling workforce of tradesmen out there. Everyone's getting towards retirement, and they're going to have big gaps in their jobs. And companies are going to be caught with their pants down because they don't see it coming. Where did I leave off here? They need to be able to assess what is in front of them so they can look for commonalities and disparities. It says this applies to everything from nailing down a subfloor to working safely in hazardous environments. Comfort says every year, the in-class part of the carpentry apprenticeship has a math component with most of the focus on volume calculations of concrete and stairs and rafter calculations for roof framing. Makes sense. It applies to your specific trade. Almost everything can be calculated online these days, but understanding how we arrive at these numbers is a critical part of understanding how we build and sequence work. Tradespeople should also have a big picture understanding of how the construction process works because it will help them with decision making on the job. For instance, if a carpenter knows that schedule is more important than budget, they would know to stay at work for 2 hours of overtime in order to finish the task instead of knocking off after 8 hours and starting again the next day. You can't just pick and choose, though. You have to go through the channels. Where I'm at, you can't just stick around for overtime. You have to get permission, otherwise you're going to get in trouble. They'll call it time theft. Tamara Pongratz, Department Head of Trades Access at the BCIT, which is the British Columbia Institute of Technology, says, although tradespeople need to understand both the theory and application of math, traditional educational methods don't always make the connection between the two. The secondary school program has failed to provide the math skills tradespeople need to succeed, says Pongratz. Many of the apprentices going through their training are not adequately prepared and need to be taught how to apply math to their jobs. It's not good enough to just be good with your hands. That falls onto the secondary schools. You got to make sure that you get it into their heads that math is important. To help students connect theory and practice, BCIT has partnered with SkillPlan, a Burnaby, BC-based not-for-profit creator of workplace development programming, to create an online assessment and teaching platform. Lovey Sidhu, Director of Workforce Development at SkillPlan, says Build Your Skills Online Learning Hub is centralized learning and support center. Nicholas Eberstadt, an economist at a Washington, D.C. based think tank, release of a post-pandemic book called Men Without Work. Oh, that sounds interesting. So is that to talk about people that are not going back to work after this whole pandemic thing? Because that's, I've heard a lot of that going on. People that were at home and being paid to stay at home. Why would they go out and get a job when they earn almost as much as they would if they were had a job? It's just, Talked about it with Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs about guys that just don't want to work anymore. Mike Rowe, yes, that fella. Yeah, I like to watch his show where he gets in there and he just does all sorts of dirty jobs and shows people what it's like. Guys that just don't want to work anymore. It's an epidemic. It really is. Like, it's a real epidemic of great proportions when you have healthy, able-bodied guys that don't want to get out there and work. There's nothing wrong with going out and doing hard work. But they'd rather be in the computer age, I guess. You was on one of his podcasts about 2 months ago. Very interesting. Oh, good. Good. Let's see. Let's finish up this article here. Apprentices use Build Your Skills to work through trade-specific examples and gain knowledge via a series of videos, lessons with step-by-step instructions, and real-life trade applications of math, science concepts, as well as practice questions and quizzes, says Sidhu. She says the online learning system has been active for several years, with thousands of users signing up every year across Canada to access Build Your Skills, various tools, supports, and resources. Skill Plan serves 14 international building trade unions and their affiliated contractors and technical training providers across Canada. Sidhu says the organization provides consulting services to the construction industry focused on pinpointing gaps in foundational skills, addressing learning challenges, and delivering industry-specific training programs. Build Your Skills is integrated into every province in Canada, says Sidhu. We are working with Canada's building trade unions and each provincial building trade council across Canada to integrate the learning tool through their construction trade hubs. Trade hubs are where people can learn about the various opportunities in unionized construction, find out more about the trades, and connect with local unions. Ah, yes. I did have a good Christmas. I hope you did as well. It was, it's snowing up here. I went out and shoveled the driveway, cleaned off the car, and then it snowed again. So, kind of a lost cause. But at least it's not as much to shovel the next time. And yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to do like a little stream where I show some of the stuff I got for Christmas, because some of it is pretty neat. I'm liking it. My wife is the best. She's the best wife because she found me some manga I didn't even know about. She was reading her manga book, and in the back of that, she saw that there was a manga that I liked, or a show that I liked, and it was a manga that was the first time translated into English in Canada or the United States, and she got it delivered for me. So yeah, I hope you had a good one as well. Hope things aren't too. Hope you're not too knee-deep in the snow down there. You're sidetracking. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Gotta have a nice chat with you. I'm just doing my thing. Okay, well that's it for what kind of education you need. It's above +1. +1? You guys got a Chinook going on down there or what? Okay. I will get... I think it was -10. I went out to fire up the car because it hasn't been started in a few days because really it didn't have anywhere to go. And yeah, it said -10. So yeah. Okay, so we'll close that and I'll try this here. There we go. These are pictures I have on my computer from the place I used to work at. And I'll just describe what you're looking at here. So what this is, on my last stream, I talked about centrifuges and how they take the sewage, the human waste, and they spin really fast and separate out into solids and liquids. And once it goes down into a large holding tank, it has to get pumped somewhere. So this is the pump. I know it doesn't look like it, but it is a hydraulically powered piston pump. Right here, these are the hydraulic cylinders that provide the power. And this are the pistons that push the material. So, right here, this thing is a water box. So in here, in this box, is water to help with the cooling of the pistons. just to make sure it doesn't overheat. And you can always tell when there's a leak because the water box gets really dirty, and then you know it's time to change the cylinder seals. So, and this stuff here, that is the end product. That is human waste that has been concentrated after it's been through the centrifuge. Just so happens that it's made a mess on the floor is all. And this floor isn't supposed to be covered in water like this, but the operators at the time did not start the pump to pump out the water. So yes, this is called what's called a swing pump. And it provides a lot of pushing power because it is hydraulically driven. You can push this material through a 10-inch diameter pipe. There's another shot of a lot of the mess they had left behind. The guys have to push everything around with snow shovels. And there's a pump to pump out the water. Another shot of it. There's another shot a little further away to show how much mess there is. Another shot of it. This material here is this is a screen for a pump. So all this material was trapped around this pump, and thus it was starving the pump. So naturally, being in maintenance, I was told that, so I went over and I pulled this out of that hole there and cleaned it around the strainer and got the pump up and working again. These are just some valve markings. So when you're in maintenance, you have to know who makes these valves and who to get them from. What is it I do? I am a millwright, so also known as an industrial mechanic. So I install and repair industrial equipment. And at this place I was at, it was a lot of repairing. So when you're in the skilled trades, you should always try to have a camera with you. That way you can catalog everything you do. And you can always look back on it and go, oh, what size was that valve? Oh, okay, it was a 2-inch valve. All right. And there's the part number for it. So you can always trace it back. And always find out the proper ones to get. Lots of pictures. You always take lots of pictures. Whether it's with a camera or on your phone, but you always have to take them and have them with you. That way you don't have to remember everything that way. You always have a backup. There's that pipe I was telling you about. So when the pump pushes the material, it goes through a large pipe. I believe this is a 10 or a 12-inch diameter pipe. And this goes to a storage silo. So it pushes all that solid human waste through here very slowly, but it does manage to push it. And then there are like lube rings around each one that just inject water under high pressure so that it makes it a little easier for it to move through the pipe. Because trying to push it through dry is just it doesn't work very well. It overpressures the pump and then it kicks out because it's hit its high pressure limit. This is an actuator. I believe it's an electric actuator for a large valve. As you can see, this is the valve and this is the actuator. So what you have to do, and let this be a lesson to all the engineers listening, make sure you size your actuator for the valve. I believe this one is just a little too undersized. So anytime there was any kind of slight pressure on this valve, it wouldn't open it. So always try to make sure it's strong enough that it will open and close the valve even if there's a bit of pressure on it. And it had a digital readout, and it would tell you whether it was opened or closed. So you can see right now it's closed because the line is going across the pipe. Now, if that turned 90 degrees, it would go in line with the pipe, and it would tell you it would be open. So then there's the controls. You can, you can see right there's what it looks like. If it was open, it would look like that. And if it's closed, it's cutting across the pipe. But you could sit there and turn these controls to do it manually. But these were all computer controlled, and they could open it close it from the control room. There's another shot of it. This is as you can see, the large pipe. You know, these things are heavy. These valves are huge. These pipes and everything is heavy. Nothing is easy down here if you have to do a replacement. It involves getting in like overhead cranes or come-alongs, such like that you can support and lift these heavy valves. Just pictures of motors. I believe I needed some information on them, so it's a lot easier to just take a picture. That way you can make sure it's a good camera, got a good clear picture. You can always get everything you need. Important is you need the frame size so that it matches up exactly, because there's a specification that any frame size will match up as long as it's the same number. And then horsepower or voltage, and that's it. That's all you need for a proper fit for your motor. This is the upstairs. We were downstairs previous photos, but these are the centrifuges. So you can see there's the line right there. This line is where the sludge would get pushed in or pumped in. And this is where the polymer would get pumped in. The polymer would stick to the sludge and help separate out the solids from the liquids. And then it would go into the centrifuge where it would get spun up and it would get separated out even more. Oh wow, yeah, it's pretty in depth. When you get into waste management and what they do, and it was the city that really made their money from the sludge that was processed. Oh, I believe this was somebody said there was a problem with the machine. So I went up there and I had a look. Now you got to realize some of these operators were really lazy. Like, I mean lazy. The valve was closed. So all I did was open the valve up, and they realized, oh, how did you fix that? Said I opened the valve up. So a lot of them are easy. We like easy fixes like that, but honestly, those guys should know a lot better to go and check their stuff. Oh, you had to clean out the Red Deer facility. Red Deer. Okay, I've never been there, but probably the same type of deal. Maybe on a smaller scale. It was so bad. It's never good. People that aren't in waste management don't know how horrible it can be. After a while, you get used to the smell. Yes. When I had a new manager start, I said to him, don't worry. The good news is you'll get used to the smell. The bad news is you'll get used to the smell. Outside. Oh, I've got some pictures of settling ponds where we had a dredge, and we'd have to take a boat out to the dredge. So you're literally on a lake of poo as you're paddling out to get to the dredge. That is pretty crazy. Replacing the augers, God, yeah. So these augers are worn out. We pulled them out. As you can see, that should not look like that. I think I got a better shot. There you go. This should be nice and straight, not like this. That is worn out. So, there's the inside of where those sit. So the human waste drops down from up here, and it gets pushed along by those augers here. Those push it along, and it goes into the hydraulic swing pump. This is how this just runs at a constant speed. You set these augers up so that they just move the material along, and the swing pump does the rest. It pulls it in. The bottom one pulls it in as the top one's pushing the material out, and then it switches, and the top pulls some in and the bottom pushes out. And you have valves, poppets opening and closing at the same time, opening up, closing. It's all really a well-timed dance that it does. And there's a shot from the other end. So this thing here, this thing sits in here, these guys, and that's how they're supported. And yes, as you can see, there's a lot of wear and tear on them. So we had to completely pull them apart and wait for new ones to, as you can see, that should not look like that. That is a lot of wear. That should be nice and straight, but it's just worn so much. And yeah, it is serious, eh? That is serious stuff. Right here now, these are the pictures of the poppets. So when I told you that the top cylinder and bottom cylinder are pushing and pulling, obviously this is opened up right now, but you can see there's a O-ring that is beyond its life expectancy. It should be changed now. It has been well used, and it doesn't want to sit in its groove anymore. So that'll have to be that was replaced. And this guy here, this guy is what we call a poppet, and it opens and closes in time. It's timed with the cylinders. Same with this down here. This is the bottom one, bottom poppet. It opens and closes. So they time it so that when one's open, the other one's closed, and when one's closed, the other one's open, and back and forth, back and forth. Doing lots of good. It's lots of timing, because otherwise you're trying to push the material where it came from instead of pushing it where it has to go. Yes, there's the bottom one, bottom poppet. It's going to have to be removed, and when it gets removed, you take out that part there, and then you also can take out this ring, because they all get worn with time. And as you can see, in the bottom O-ring is sticking out as well, so it's at the end of its serviceable life. You don't use that again. You just pull it out and replace it with a new one. I'm not sure what I was taking a picture of here. It must have been something that caught my eye, but I'm not quite sure right now. It was, as you can see, it was back in 2020, so two and a bit years ago. Something in the dark there. Okay. There's the inner part of the poppet. I took some more pictures. Probably just showing to see how much it was worn. Okay, so this guy, this is what it's like here. This is was for conveying the polymer to the centrifuges, but over time things would get plugged, and as you can see, that is just the sludge and the polymer, and it would just stick to the sides of the pipe and just start building up. And eventually it got to a point where they were getting complaints that they had to turn up the pump so high and it still wasn't meeting their needs for the flows they needed. And yeah, you've basically turned this 4-inch or 3-inch pipe into a 1-inch. You're not going to get the volume you need. So we had to, I just want to take some shots to show what it looked like. So we cut it. As you can see, there's the saw marks. And we got a new piece of pipe. We cleaned out the old pieces. And then we got the welder to set it up. And he welded it very expertly, as he was an excellent welder. As you can see by his cap there on the pipe. Very nice. And this one over here. And when that was done, we went and installed it back in, and the flow was restored. Everyone was happy, and I think we got it done in maybe a day, depending on when we started. I can't remember. Oh, okay. Well, I know what time it is anyway, with the pictures. It was 2:46 in the morning on January the 8th. So almost a year ago. So yes. No, almost 2 years ago. Yeah. Anyways, so the working night shift was not very fun. I didn't care for it. Always having to work from 7 at night to 7 in the morning. That was really hard on you. And yeah, but that's when we did our work. Also, I believe this is a part of it as well. The hydraulic part of the swing pump. But you can see something has happened to this O-ring. It's been ripped and flattened. So the oil was getting by and causing a leak. So no problem. Finding the leak is okay. Making sure you have the right O-ring is very important. It has to be the right material and the right hardness. Otherwise, the hydraulic oil will eat it, or it will just destroy it because it can't take the pressure. Yes, time to replace. Exactly. You got her. And I believe I got a picture of the replacement. Much better. Not flattened and fills in the entire gap. Just put it back together, bolt it down, make sure it's even on every corner. Otherwise, you'll pull one side and the other. So always try to do a nice even pressure on each corner. Take it down equally. I'm not sure what this is about. Maybe it was a drain I put in. I think we had to install a drain. Nothing to do with the centrifuge. I think this is for fire stuff. Fire, the supply for the fire extinguisher, the fire suppression system. But as you can see in that environment, where it's very dirty and such, like you're getting it everywhere. Like everything rusts unless it's stainless steel. So you always have a hard time getting things apart. I just had to take a picture of that because it looks like this guy's in the red here. And so sometimes people want proof as to if there's something wrong, and it's like, yeah, I think there's something wrong. I think this guy shouldn't be in the red. So yeah. And I believe that's all the pictures I have for that particular area. So yes, being where the centrifuges connect to the tank, which connects to this guy, which connects to Hang on. Connects to this guy. He's at the beginning. There we go. Yes. And this is the guy that does all the work. Pushes everything, pushes all the human waste everywhere, and makes it so that everything moves along. And there was 2 of these. So we had an older one and we had a newer one. Due to expansion, because the city keeps growing. And you have to try to keep up with your infrastructure. Otherwise, the city are a bunch of failures. They can't even do anything right. But yes, that's it for that part of the stream. I hope you found it quite interesting. I will have more. You know that mess? Yeah. Yes. Next week I'll have more pictures, more stories of some of the jobs I've been on, some of the things I've seen. A few more tips for the aspiring tradesmen out there. Also, if you know someone that is in the trades, or you know someone that is curious about it, send them on my way. I will tell them the virtues of being in the trades. It's a very important thing at this juncture, in this point in time of history. I think that it will be a burgeoning field for everyone. So I would get into it now. Don't wait. Get into it now, and it will be short-term pain for long-term gain. The short-term is having to earn 60% of a journeyman rate, but all you got to do is wait 4 years. You're supposed to get a raise of 10% every year after you complete your schooling. There's also government incentives. I know when you're a second year, you can apply for $2,000. And then when you complete your apprenticeship, you can get another $2,000. And a lot of that will go to tools, because tools are not cheap. You can buy cheap tools, but you're just doing yourself a disservice. You're going to end up looking like the fool, because you're going to go out to use your tools that are cheap, and they're going to break on you, and they're not going to last. And other tradesmen are going to look at you and wonder, what are you doing? Why would you buy that garbage? So always get yourself good quality tools. I'm not saying you have to buy Snap-on or anything like that, because really I think you're just paying for the name. But get yourself something good quality, and it'll last you a long time, and you will be happier with yourself. Especially if you work in jobs that you need specialty tools, or sometimes the employers will provide you with tools. Other times you'll have to bring your own. And when it's your own, always put your name on them, engrave them, don't lend them out, and always get best quality for yourself. And if you're in charge at work, make sure, if they want to buy tools, make sure you steer them in the right direction. Or if you're in a place such as myself, I can go and get whatever tools I want. I'm not going to get like overpriced, because then they'll start asking you questions and they'll be like, well, what are you doing here? What are you doing this? But get yourself, good quality ones. Doesn't have to be super expensive. And then it works out better for you. You're using good tools on the job rather than being frustrated with garbage ones that don't work or break or bend or can't do what you need it to do. Remember, cheapskate pays twice. You want to be cheap? It's going to reflect in your quality of work. Get yourself good quality tools. And with that, I want to say to everybody, Hope you have a happy new year. Let's make 2023 even better than this year. Onward and upward with greater things. I know I'm going to try to make my YouTube channel a little bit better, have some improvements. We'll see how things go. Maybe I'll start having guests on, see if I can start swinging that. It's a little bit tough with a full-time job, but, you know, weekends are there, as long as I'm not too busy with things. And there's always my the gaming things I like to do, and the anime chat I do. It's not just mechanical things. That is just one aspect, and it's something I like. And so I thought I would share that with everyone on here, on YouTube. Because the thing is, talk what you know about. And I know about trades. So, I want to share my knowledge with everyone. I'm just going to wrap it up here. Unless there's any questions I can answer, and I would be more than happy to. If anyone's got anything. It was nice seeing everybody come out today. I'm quite pleased. I know trades aren't the most exciting thing to talk about, and I know there's those channels out there that do better when they're what do you call it? Dissing on other Hollywood-made shows. I would rather not try to do that. Rather than talk about something I've watched and I hate or dislike, I would rather talk about things that make me happy. Or do things that make myself happy as well, like play video games and chat with people. Or talk anime and chat with people. Or talk about trades and chat with people about that. Anything you guys would like to chat about. I mean, that's pretty much it. Rather than talk about things that are terrible, things we don't like, life is short. Let's enjoy the things we do, enjoy the things that we want to see and make us happy. Life is too short to be miserable. Don't make yourself miserable. So yeah, just want to thank everybody. Comic Relief Crusader, it was good seeing you. Hope to see you out there in the chat rooms. Please hit that like button, and anyone else that was lurking. I appreciate you guys. Tell your friends about me and spread the word. There's a crazy trades guy on YouTube. And he just talks and talks about the trades and shows pictures of gross stuff and tries to answer any of your questions and explains things that you may not have seen before. There's other channels out there to visit as well. A lot of other good content creators. People like Pacific 414, Blaine from Blaine's Escape Corner. There's Ronin66 and DJ Ronnie G. There's Brandon, the anime guy, and the Nerdporial Lifeform, and also Punkwaddle from Floral from Under a Rock. And I do believe the Comic Relief Crusader has a channel as well. Pay him a visit. I have a Discord. It's called The Shop. Makes sense. It's where all the tradesmen go when they want to chat. They go to the shop. I'm out there on Twitter. And I have a few videos on Bitchute, Odysee, and Rumble. And that's because they're not as, what do you call it? Not as slap happy as YouTube is with slapping you with a copyright claim. If you want to see some of my videos that are not edited, I'd go to Bitchute, Odysee, or Rumble. And yeah, for me, that's it. I'd just like to wish everyone the happiest of New Year's. Let's make 2023 one of the best ones. And with that, I would bid everyone a fond farewell. This is Pop Culture Mechanic signing off. And links are in the description. You got her.